Hello friends, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about the 10 books that I want to read before the end of the year. Once June hit this year, I had a moment where I was like, oh my gosh, how am I doing on my yearly TBR? What books do I want to read in the second half of this year? And so I thought it would be fun to make a video checking in on my original goals from the beginning of this year, as well as setting a new 10 book TBR that I want to read before 2025 comes to a close. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on how I'm doing. At the beginning of this year, I made a video called the 15 books that I want to read in 2025, and of those, I've read 9. I unhauled one because I decided I actually didn't want to read it. So of those, I've unhauled 1, I've read 8, and I have 6 to go. And a couple of those books are on this list. I want to say 1 or 2, but most of them are new books because I have new books on my radar. And of course, everything that was in that video remains on my mental TBR. So without further ado, let's talk about the 10 books that I want to read before the end of the year. The first book that I would like to read before the end of 2025 is The Wedding People by Alison Espach, but this is a book that I have heard nothing but good things about. The book club that I'm in, all of the girls read this book before I joined, and it's my understanding that this is one of their favorite books that they've read as a book club. And one of my good friends gifted me this book, which was so sweet of her. And so it's time. I definitely want to get to this book very, very soon. And what I know about this story is that we're following our main character who shows up to this hotel where there's going to be a wedding, but the entire hotel is booked out to the wedding party except for this woman. And she goes there to do something. I know what it is. I'm not going to say what, but check trigger warnings, basically. She goes there to do something that's not great. That's really sad. And so we kind of watch as she becomes connected with the bride and the wedding party. And so yeah, I'm really excited to read this before the year ends. Up next, we have a romance, and that book is Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. And this book has been floating around on the internet for quite a while now, and I can't lie, guys, I have been absolutely dying to read this book. I haven't come across it though at Barnes or any other local bookstore that I've been to, and I know that the second that I come into contact with this book, I will be purchasing it and reading it immediately. This is also an accidental pregnancy trope, which I have actually often enjoyed reading. I know a lot of people don't really love that trope, but in the books that I've read it in, it's been very tasteful and very enjoyable. And again, I've just heard such amazing reviews for this romance. I've heard that the guy is such an angel, which is my absolute favorite thing ever. And the girl is really sweet. And yeah, I just really want to know what my opinion on this book will be, because it kind of sounds like it has everything that I'm looking for in a romance. Before I jump into the next book, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me and my channel, and that's it from me. Okay, on to the next book. Up next, we have Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. This is the Kristen Hanna book that I have decided to read in the yearly TBR that I set at the beginning of this year. I basically said I want to read any book by Kristen Hanna. I didn't want to pick which one at the time. I just wanted to dip my toes into her books because I love fiction. I love historical fiction, and she seems to be everybody's favorite historical fiction author right now. All of my friends absolutely love her books. There's 2 big reasons, honestly, that I haven't picked her books up yet. One of them is because they're giant, thick books, and in years past I haven't read a ton of giant, huge, chunky books like that, but this year I've read a ton of super thick books, so I'm feeling like I'm kind of over that. And then the other thing is that her books always make everybody cry and I don't love to read sad books all of the time. I tend to read a decent amount of sad books every single year, and I love them by the time I finish them, but they're never the books that I'm ooh, I heard that one's really emotional, I want to read that book. But it's once I've already sat down and read it, then I'm oh my gosh, this is so good, why didn't I pick it up sooner? All that to say, I think Kristen Hanna's books are gonna fall into that category. And the reason that I chose Firefly Lane out of all of her books is this one is all about friendship, like female friendships, and I love the idea of that. And so I feel like I'll really, really enjoy it. Then next we have Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. The single reason that I have not read this book yet is because of the Zero Shelf Control series that I've been doing, where I haven't been adding any books to my physical TBR. And now that my physical TBR is almost down to 0, I think by the time this video goes up, it'll be down to 0. At the time that I'm filming this, it is not yet down to 0. I'm going out to the bookstore and immediately buying Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston because I want to read this book yesterday. I absolutely love Ashley Poston books. I think the lowest rating I've given any of her books is a 4. I gave one a 4, another a 4.75, and another one a 5. Like, I just love her books so much. All of her romances include a magical realism element that's really, really subtle, and she's super creative, and that kind of element makes her romances feel very different. They feel very unique from any other romances that I've ever read before. And I also love the way that Ashley Poston writes. It's like my favorite thing ever. It's like a warm hug in my brain, and I cannot wait to read her writing again. There's a few authors where it's not even their stories, it's literally the way that they write their sentences and their stories just make me so happy, and Ashley Poston is absolutely one of them. And so yeah, I could talk about this book all day long, and I haven't even read it yet. I am so excited, and it's like criminal to me that I haven't read this yet. Up next we have The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. Guys, I found Abby Jimenez in 2024, and I cannot believe I did not read her books any sooner than 2024, because she went from someone who I was vaguely aware of to all the way up to like top 5 authors ever. I love her books. I read the Part of Your World trilogy, loved them so much. I read her newest release and I liked it. I didn't love it, but I need, like ASAP need to go back and read her backlist. So there's another trilogy that comes before the Part of Your World series, and I want to read it so bad. I know it's not like everyone's favorite compared to that trilogy, but I'm like, how different can it be? You know, it's Abby Jimenez, it's romances. There's going to be some sort of element of like depth and emotional intelligence. Her characters are probably going to be amazing. There's probably going to be a furry animal friend because she tends to throw that into her books, and they're amazing. I love them. This is just, again, another one of those books where when I go book shopping and I see it, I will be buying it, because how could I not? Again, I actually don't know literally anything about the plot of this book. I just know that it's by Abby Jimenez, and so I will be buying it. Up next, we have Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this one because I've alluded to the fact that I will be reading it soon in the last several videos, and I'm just so excited. Taylor Jenkins Reid is another one of those authors who is just an absolute favorite for me. She writes fiction stories that are so compelling. There is not a single book that I've read by her that I'm not like itching to know what happens next. And I feel like with fiction, that's not always how I feel. I'm very invested in the writing or the message that it's trying to get across, but in terms of being a page turner, I don't never feel that way, but I don't feel it nearly as often as when I read her books. And she always has very strong and empowering female main characters in her books. Carrie Soto, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. There's just so many amazing women in her books, and it makes me so excited to read this one, which is about a female astronaut and her journey, I think, like going to space and like training to become an astronaut, like all of this kind of stuff, which isn't a topic that I would necessarily be interested in, but because it's written by TJR, I need to read it. Book number 7 is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. My series ban that I put myself on is kind of over. I was not starting any new series, but it's gotten to the point now where I've wrapped up enough series. I'm going to be starting some new series and I won't be feeling guilty about it, because a lot of the books that are on my radar are the beginning of series. And for the longest time, I was like, oh, well, if it's the first book in a series, don't read that. Read all the other books that you want to read that are standalone. And I did that for the first, again, 6-7 months of this year, but now I'm over it. I'm like, okay, I've finished up enough series. Honestly, I really just finished the Throne of Glass series, and that felt like such a huge accomplishment that I'm like, oh, I can start as many series as I want. And I think in the last like 2 weeks, I've already started like 3 series, which is again so unhinged. I don't usually do that, but there's just so many books that I want to be reading right now that again are the beginning of series. And this one is a gothic romantasy, which I've never read before. And I know that the magic system has something to do with playing cards. You need to like collect all of the playing cards to do something with your magic. And that sounds really intriguing to me because it's a magic system that I've never heard of before. And I also really like that this is a duology. So it's 2 books and then you're done. Number 8 is Magnolia Parks Into the Dark. This is the 5th and final Magnolia Parks book. It is ready to check out from the library. I can download it onto my Kindle right now if I want to. I have just been trying to spare myself the emotional pain and torture that's going to come with finishing Magnolia and BJ's story. I have grown to really, really love the Magnolia Parks series, and I'm definitely more of a Daisy and Christian girl. I have not given a Magnolia and BJ book 5 stars yet. Who's to say that won't happen on their last book? But I gave the first one like a 3 and the second one a 4, but I gave both of the Daisy and Christian books 5 stars. I don't know what it is about the 2 of them, but I just love those books so much. And so I'm very curious to see how I'll feel about this book. I know that Magnolia and BJ have gone through a lot leading up to this, so I'm curious to see if they feel more like well-rounded and more adult and all of that kind of stuff. There was also a major cliffhanger at the end of the book that comes before this one, so I'm also kind of stressed because it was horrible. Like the end of that book was horrible. Like it was good, but it was also just horrible. Number 9 is The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. This is a summary romance book, which as I'm speaking this, I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to read this ASAP because come September and October and the rest of the year, I don't feel like I'm going to be prioritizing this anymore. But this has been like at the top of my TBR for honestly as long as I can remember. Like once this book came out, I really, really wanted to read it. This is such a niche thing, but it had UCLA written on the back of the book, like in the synopsis when I was reading it at the bookstore. And I went to UCLA, and I don't know if it actually has anything to do with like college or Los Angeles or whatever, but that like little tidbit really just made me want to read it 10 times more. I just want to read this book so bad. I need to finish my physical TBR ASAP so I can like go buy it. The self-control that I've had to have, you guys, is actually insane. Something I have not experienced in the book world before. And book number 10, maybe the most shocking that I haven't read this book yet, is Ruthless Vows by Divine Rivals. I am a broken record, and I'm so sorry for all of the besties who are here every single week. I have had Ruthless Vows get selected in several TBR wheels now, and when Divine Rivals ended, I was like, I need to read Ruthless Vows right now because it ends on quite the cliffhanger. It's really frustrating and like devastating at the same time. I definitely cried when I read it, which is funny because it's like, you know, a YA romantasy story, but like I was really invested in the outcome of this book. I gave Divine Rivals 5 stars. And then I don't know what happened. I don't know why I didn't immediately pick up Ruthless Vows. That's not really my habit, honestly, to immediately go into the next book of a series. I wish it was. I wish that those were my instincts, but they're not. And so I think the fact that I've waited so long, I'm kind of just in this space of like, oh, I'm not ready yet. Like I haven't been ready up until now. I'm still not ready to know how this ends, but I'm pretty confident that Ruthless Vows is on Kindle Unlimited. So theoretically, I could download it and I could read this sooner rather than later, but I'm scared and I want it to be really good. And I think sometimes when the first book in a series is so amazing, it's sets your bar so high and you don't want to be disappointed. And I've heard both. I've heard people absolutely love the second one, and I've heard people be pretty disappointed by the second book in this series. So we're gonna have to see. I'm really, really excited for this story, but I'm also nervous. Okay, besties, those were the 10 books that I am hoping to read by the end of 2025. I would love to know what you guys really want to read by the end of the year. Like I said, I have 6 books left to go in my original yearly TBR, and that's the one that I'm going to be prioritizing for sure. But I do have some confidence that I could accomplish all the books in that video and also all of the books in this video, because a lot of the books that are left I am so excited about, and the ones that I've had a harder time getting through are the ones that have been sitting on my physical TBR for a long time. So yes, like I said, let me know what you guys are hoping to read before the year ends. And before I let you guys go, be sure to comment down below the disco ball emoji so I know who made it all the way here. I hope you guys are having a great day and a great reading month, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!